today because we are going to require it in our circuit designing. So these particular things you need to note it down. So it is 0.0 equal to 0, 1.1 is equal to 1, 1.0 is equal to 0, 0 or 0 add, or you can say 0 or 0 is equal to 0, 1 plus 1 is equal to 1, 1 plus 0 is equal to 1, complement of is equal to 0, and second last one, the 0 bar is equal to 1. Okay, so this is the thing that is very, very important for us for doing our circuit design. Okay, now there are few laws that we need to look. So it is called as distributive law. So let's take three input case. So A is my first input, B second, C is my third input. So A into bracket B or C. So it is basically AND of A, okay, and basically the OR of B and C, and that output is ANDed with A. So it comes out to be A into B, okay, or A and B, or A and C. So this is called as the distributive law. So note it down. Okay. So distributive law says that A into B plus C is equal to A into B plus A into C. This is for OR logic. Now when it is AND, how the distributive law works? A OR with AND of B and C. So it is A or B ANDed with A or C. Okay. So these laws also can be very easily proved by taking again the truth table's help, and take left hand side, try to draw, try to design or try to get the truth table, take right hand side, try to get the truth table, and then you can do this particular thing. Okay. So again the OR distributive law, A into B or C is equal to A and C, or A and C. Sorry, A and B or A and C. And distributive law, A or of B and C is equal to A or B and A or C. It's not English and or. It is logical and or. Okay, capital letters. Absorption laws, you can see here, A or A dot B. Okay, the very first one. So you can see that A is nothing but what? I can write A as A into 1. Okay, and this AB as AB. Now what you can take? You can take out whatever is the common from here. So A is common everywhere. So what remains here? 1. You can see 1. And what remains in this box? The B, right? So 1 plus B. Just now we saw the rule. 1 plus A is equal to 1. Okay. So similarly 1 plus B is equal to 1. And then A into 1. So that rule also we saw. So anything into 1 is same as the other input, that is A. Okay. So this is for OR, and similarly for AND, you can see here A and of A or B. Again, A plus 0 is same as A. So I have used this for this first A. I have used A plus 0. ANDed with this term is same, A dot A or B. Right. Now what you can do, you can take out the things common, okay, and finally it comes out to be again A, right? Okay. So solve this. It is very easy. So you can take out A common, right? And from directly also you can do it over here. So A into A, okay, is A plus A into B. Or I'll solve this particular thing for you, okay? A into A plus B. So here it is A into A plus B. So what I'll do now, simply I can use simple maths also here. So I'll be using this A into A, okay, plus A into B. Any trouble over here? I don't think so. Simple maths also tell you the same thing. Okay. Now we know that A into A is same as A and plus A into B. So I can simply write AB. Right? Now what is common over here? So A is common. So I take out. So A into, so 1 will remain here and B will remain in this particular second term. Right? We also know that 1 plus B is always going to be 1. So A into 1 and anything into 1 is same as this anything, right? So it is A. So therefore, A into A plus B is same as A. Now the same thing you can prove with the help of truth table also. So very quickly we will do it. So my left hand side is I am taking care of. So it is A into A. So let's say A and B. Okay. So I can write this A into A plus B. Let's say this is my Y2 and this is my A. Okay. So Y2. What is my Y2 now? Right. So finally my left hand side will be A into Y2. Right. So 0, 1, 0, 1. Very quickly I'll do it. Okay. 0, 0, 0, 1. So A or B is my Y2. So it is 0, 1, 1, 1, right? And now this output Y2 I need to multiply with my input A. So 0 into 0, 0 means this 0 multiply by this 0, right? Is 0. Now this 0 multiply by this 1. So it will be 0. This 1 multiply with this 1. So it will be 1. This 1 multiplied with this 1, it will be 1. Now this is what same as your input A. You can see here. First two entries 0, next two entries 1. So first two entries 0, next two entries 1. So this way also I can quickly prove the uh, uh, equations by using the truth table help. Okay. So these are the things that we need to do, right? So this is absorption law. Associative law. So you can see here that this because in normal maths also we see that, let's say if I add 2 plus 3 plus 4, so I can do it like this 2 plus 3 and then to that result I can do the addition of 4, or I can simply do 2 plus 3 plus 4, right? So it is associative law in the OR domain, and in the AND domain it is A into B into C. So if it is maths, normal maths, 2 into 3 into 4, so I can do it as 2 into 3 into 4, or even I can do 2 into 4 into 3. Okay, so this is associative law for my Boolean logic, and in the AND domain. Okay, so these are the laws. I'll going to share you this particular page, these pages by doing some corrections, and then we will be uh, I'll share it through Google Classroom. Okay, so that I will do for you, right? So that is the most important laws that we are going to use in our circuit designing uh, in the so-called uh, Boolean algebra. Okay. So here now let us understand first what do you mean by POS and SOP. Okay, right? So POS and SOP first we will understand, and based on that we will be doing the circuit. We will start the circuit design. So as I said that our maximum circuitry will be based on SOP. Okay, so we'll understand SOP, and the exactly opposite of that is nothing but the product of sum. So we'll spend more time on SOP, understanding of SOP. So SOP stands for sum of product terms. Okay, sum of product terms. Now and POS is exactly ulta of that. It is nothing but product of sum terms. Okay, so it is product of sum terms. Okay, so what is this SOP and POS? Why it is required? Okay, so um, why this SOP and POS is required. So the way you represent the circuit, the way you represent the circuit is given by either SOP or POS. Okay, so it is the way by which we can represent the circuit, right? We can't represent the circuit in the words. If you try to represent the circuit in the English words, then for a single small circuit, you have to have 1 page or 2 page write up. Okay, so instead of going for this, we represent the circuit by using the so-called SOPs and POS very easily in a single line statement. Also, we can, or in a single line also, we can represent the SOP and POS. For example, okay, so let's talk about SOP because we are interested in that. So SOP. So let's talk about the XOR gate, exclusive OR gate. We have already used SOP, okay, but now we are giving it a proper introduction. So SOP, what was the equation? So Y was equal to A bar, A and B bar, they were my input. So A bar dot B or with A dot B bar. Okay. So what is happening over here? So these things are multiplication terms and terms. Okay. They are called as product terms. Okay, so all AND terms, you can see that AND is one of the very easily represented as into multiplication of two inputs. So they are product terms. Okay, so this is also my AND term. That is nothing but my product term. Okay, now look at everything. Now look at everything. So what I am doing, I am ORing I am doing the ORing business, ORing the AND terms, right? And what is OR? OR is nothing but sum, okay, addition. So therefore, this particular equation becomes sum of what? Sum of product terms. Or you can simply say that ORing of and terms. Okay, so this is called as sum of products. And just remember one thing, in SOP, okay, we work for logic level 1. Okay, we work for logic level 1. And in POS, what we will do in the POS, we work for logic levels 0. Okay, so I can very easily represent this particular thing in terms of POS also, because we know that now A bar dot B I can represent, because using De Morgan's theorems I can represent it in terms of since it is dot term, we can represent it in terms of OR term. Okay, and this entire OR term we can represent in terms of the dot terms. Okay, so that's why it is said that SOP and POS, they are dual of each other. So but for SOP we will be working for logic ones. We will be, whenever we do the K-maps and circuit designing, etc., that time we will be doing for only logic 1. Okay, so what is this? Basically, what this particular thing means, it means that there are two types of logic. The very first type is called as positive logic. Okay, the second one is called as negative logic. Now what is positive logic? In positive logic we will be giving importance to logic 1, right? And in negative logic we'll be giving importance to logic 0. Okay, logic 0 means what? In the truth table, whatever values which are indicating indicating the output as zeros. Similarly, logic 1 means all the values in the truth table which are giving the importance to, or all the values in the truth table which are having logic 1 as output. Okay, so here what is this positive logic and negative logic means? So positive logic means that my zero level, okay, is lower than in terms of voltages you take or in terms of importance you take, whatever is the case, is lower than that of my logic 1 level. Okay, and in the negative logic, what it means that my zero level is higher, okay, than my logic 0 level is higher than my logic 1 is higher than my logic 1 levels. Okay, in terms of voltages, if you talk about in terms of voltages, say, so in that case, in the positive logic, say TTL, if I follow transistor logic, okay, it's a IC manufacturing technology. With the positive logic, we'll say that my logic 0 is taken as 0 volts and my logic 1 is taken as 5 volts. So 5 volt is higher than 0 volt. So you can see that this is the positive logic. Okay. And again, in the negative logic, what I will do? In the negative logic, my logic 0 will be 5 volt and my logic 1 will be 0 volt. Okay. So this way we can understand this positive and negative logic. Okay. So generally, when we go for positive logic, we are interested in logic level ones, okay? And generally, when we go for negative logic, we will go for logic level zeros. We will give importance to logic level zeros. Or maximum circuits will be SOP circuits, sum of products. So we will be working for that particular thing. So I think this is the case. Now let us start actual circuit design. Okay, so circuit design. As I said that we will be doing the combinational first and then sequential. So circuit designing in digital circuits are categorized as two parts. One is combinational logic circuit designing. Okay. Logic circuit designing. And the second one is basically the sequential. We already talked about this. Now we are giving it a more formal introduction. So sequential logic circuit design. So in combinational, the output at any given instance is depend on the input at that instance only. While in the sequential circuit, the output at any given instance depends upon the present inputs, okay, and past outputs, right? So that is only the small difference between this combinational and sequential. So combinational circuit designing is comparatively easier than sequential. So we'll start with this combinational first. So our next heading, the most important heading, okay, or the very big heading under which all the headings will come, okay, it is combinational circuit design. Okay, under which all the heading comes. Now we have jumped to a very big you can say tree under which there are lot many circuits available, and now we will change our bigger heading, okay, only when we jump to the sequential logic circuit design. Okay, so now whatever we are going to do till sequential logic circuit start, they fall under the very big umbrella called as combinational circuit design. Okay, so let us start with a simple circuit, very initial circuit. So we are going to implement very first example, that is implement the XOR gate, okay, using basic gates only. Okay, so this is the case. Very simple example we'll take and then we'll jump to the higher examples. So now XOR gate truth table is known to us. So let us have it very quickly. A, B, Y. So 0 1 0 1 double 0 double 1. So when both the inputs are same, then the output is okay, or you can write the equation as like this: a bar b plus ab bar. Okay, so a is 0, right? So b is 0, so this is 0. A is 0, b is 0, so this is 0. A is 0, then multiply with 1, so it will come out to be 1, 1, and finally the 0. So this is my XOR gate truth table. So when both the inputs are same, the output is 0. When the inputs are differing, then the output is 1. That is the statement of XOR gate. So let us implement this now. So to implement this particular thing, first we need to get the truth table, okay, or I need to get the SOP equation. Okay, so already we are aware of the SOP equation. Okay, so we will be working for this particular thing. So my SOP equation for the given thing is a bar b plus ab bar. Okay, so this is given to me. Now how I can implement this? So you have to just analyze this thing in the initial days, because later on when you do the practice, then by looking at the SOP itself directly you can understand, but initial days you have to follow few steps. Okay, then you can understand it very quickly. So this SOP is basically my Y. Okay, so this is my given SOP. So what I am supposed to do, you have to look at the SOP. So SOP has basically 3 terms. Now you say that no, there are only 2 terms. I'll let you know there are 3 terms. The very out of these 3 terms, there are 2 terms which are and. Okay, this way you have to do the analysis, and one term which is OR term. Right? Okay. So Y is equal to A bar B plus AB bar. Right? So now what I'll do it this way. This Y is equal to Y1 plus Y2, where Y1 is equal to A bar B and Y2 is equal to AB bar. Right? Now let's work for Y1. So for Y1, okay, initially you need to follow these steps. Later on, when the things go in as per your needs, okay, you can change them. You do not require to go for so many steps, but initially you have to do this. So Y1 is equal to A bar B. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll write this Y1 as, say, Y, I can give some other name like Y3 dot B. Okay, so here Y3 is nothing but A bar, right? Same thing for Y2. AB bar, which can be written as A into Y4, where Y4 is equal to B bar, right? So now I have done the segregation of all the things which I require. Now we will be starting implementation of this particular circuit, right? So let us start with Y1 first. Okay, so Y1. So in Y1, what I require Y3. So let us start implementing the Y3 first. So I have the inputs as A, B, right? What I need to know, I need to get the output as Y3. How I can get the output as Y3? It is simply the complement of input A. Okay, so the complement of input A, right? So this is my input A, this is my input B. I'll use somewhere here. Okay, this is my input B. Just a moment. This is my input B, right? And I need to do the complement. So for complement, I'll be using the AND gates, right? For complementing, I'll be using the AND gates. So this is my AND gate. Not sorry, not AND gate, OR gate. I'm sorry. So it is Y3. There's little bit trouble in drawing on this particular screen tab. Okay. So you just put a cross over here. This cross means you have connected with this particular line. Whenever there are no crosses, you are not connecting that particular line. People can put a dot also in the this thing, but putting the dot will take more time than putting the cross. Okay, you can see here, cross can be put very easily. So I suggest you to go for this particular method instead of this, because in examinations and all you will have bigger circuits. So putting the dot will consume lot much amount of time than that of the putting the cross. So go for this particular thing. So okay, so I got Y3. Now what I should do with Y3? I have to AND this Y3 with my input B. Okay, so I'll be using an AND gate. So this particular thing I am picking up from here, putting it into my AND gate, and then ANDing it with my input B. Okay, so I got the output as Y1, right? Now let us worry for Y2. So in Y2, I need to generate Y4, that is B bar, and then AND with input A. So this is my Y4. I need to do B bar of that. So I got Y4. Okay. And to this Y4, I need to AND with the A. So you can see here, this particular term, okay, here you can see this is ANDed with A. So I'll be doing the AND business now. So here is my AND gate. This is my Y2. So this will be ANDed, so it is B bar, it will be ANDed with my input A. Okay. So now what I got? I got Y3, Y4, I got Y1, Y2. What I need supposed to do with Y1 and Y2? I need to OR them. You can see here in this particular equation, I need to OR them. Right? So for this particular thing, I will be using an OR gate to get my final output Y. I will pick up the points from here, connect it over here. Okay, and finally I got my Y, right? So just see whether my circuit is proper or not. This is my input A, input B. So this A is going over here. So A is going over here. That A is getting converted to A bar over here, right? Anybody can understand. It's not a big deal. This B is coming over here. This A bar is coming over here. So I got A bar into B, right? Similarly, this A comes over here, this B comes over here, it becomes B bar, this B bar comes over here, so it becomes A into B bar, right? This A into B bar comes over here. Similarly, from here it comes out as A bar into B, and here the OR operation will take place. So it is A bar dot B plus A B bar, which is same as my XOR gate SOP, right? Okay. So this is the way you how to design the circuit. So first you have to keep on disintegrating the equations and given equation, and you have to obtain the final things. If you can get this, then your picture is clear. What you need to do first, what you do need to do afterwards, and finally what you need to do. Right. So this is the way the circuit designing is being followed in the combinational logic circuit design. Okay. Next class, we will be looking at a little bit bigger circuit, and also we will look at how we can make use of my Boolean algebra to minimize the circuit. Right now we haven't talked about circuit minimization. In the next class we will take a bigger circuit and then we will look at how we can minimize the circuit, because if you minimize the circuit, then what happens, your component requirement will reduce, the cost of the components will be less, right, as well as the cost of the actual implementation on an integrated circuit, okay, that is called as floor area, okay, that also can be reduced on a chip, right? So now simply also here why the cost is important. So you can see here that to implement this particular circuit, my requirement is what I have required. I required one OR gate, two AND gates, two OR gates. Not OR, sorry, I'm sorry, NOT gates, right? And their proper combination, right? Instead of this, I can go for simple one XOR gate, right? In this today's example, we are looking about. So if I have simple one XOR gate, I will require simple one IC. So only one IC can solve my problem. Here I require total three ICs. One for OR, second for and the third one for NOT gates. Okay, so obviously you can see that when you try to implement this particular circuit, then your requirement will be larger than that of implementing the same circuit by using a single XOR gate. So since we have taken it as XOR gate, in real life circuitry, this issue is also more prominent. So therefore, we need to look at circuit minimization. So that thing we will be starting the circuit minimization using the Boolean algebra first, okay, and then we will go for the K maps, Karnaugh maps, okay. So those things we will start in the next class. Okay, so now I'll be stopping here. If you have difficulties, please let me know. Okay, so there is one question, basic gates means and or not. Okay, yes, and or and not. Okay, these are only the basic gates. After that, XOR, NAND, etc., they are all derived gates.